Alright, Casey, so today we're going to learn how to hold the mallets for the mallet instruments. This is what's called a marimba. So to hold the actual mallets, we're going to go through 7 checkpoints. So the first checkpoint is what's called your pivot point. So pivot point is pretty much where you're going to be holding the mallet. So for the mallet, it's about 5 inches up from the butt of the stick, which is the bottom, about 5 inches up. So that'll be your first checkpoint. Second is fulcrum. So fulcrum is the mechanism your hand makes in order for the mallet to move. So for that, it's going to be very similar to the snare drum. You get your index finger, you kind of curl it, and your thumb goes in between it goes on the second little curve. So about there. Yeah, good. You want to have not that much space in between your thumb and your index finger, so kind of close like this. And then your back fingers do a lot of work. So you want to take this. So again, you do pivot points about 5 inches up, and then you make your fulcrum and you just put the mallet in between. Yeah. The next point is the back fingers are wrapped around. So you naturally do it. Your back fingers kind of wrap around and are more engaged when you're actually doing a stroke. Next is the heel of the hand. So the heel of the hand is pretty much how the stick comes out in the back. So if you were to turn your hand around, you kind of see how it just evenly lines up with the lines of your hands. It goes down like that. Next step is 45-degree angle for your wrist. So when you're playing, so this is 90 degrees, and then 45 degrees is right in between. So that's kind of the angle you want to hold the mallet. Next step is wrists are low. When you're playing, you want your wrists to be virtually really low so it's easier to fluidly go between motions. So to do that, you can use the pinky method to check. So you set everything up, and you kind of put your pinky off one of the keys, and that's remember the angle, 45 degrees. So that's pretty much how you're going to be holding it. And the last step is what's called a start high, end high concept, and that's going to go into what's called an artificial rebound. So artificial rebound is the start high, end high, and it allows for more of a fluid, relaxed motion to go between one stroke to the next stroke. So from there, we're going to learn the beating. Before that, let's just review the 7 checkpoints. So the first checkpoint is your pivot point. So pivot point is about how many inches off the butt of the stick? Like 5 inches. Second is fulcrum, and that's how you actually move the mallet. So you do the index finger and thumb wrapped around. And then the third one is back fingers are wrapped around, nice and engaged. Fourth is the heel of the hand, how the stick comes out in the back of your hand. Next is 45-degree angle. So you think 90, you go about halfway down. And then sixth is wrists are low, so you do what method to kind of check? Little pinky method. Stick it off one of the keys. Remember the 45-degree angle. That's the way you're going to hold it. And then the start high, end high concept. So if you can hand me the mallet. Let's go over the beating spots on the actual instrument. So beating spots, generally you want to hit it just off center. So that's going to be right about here, in between the center of the bar and where the chord goes in between the actual bar. You never want to hit like dead center, because it's so centered that it's focused and it takes away all the overtones, all the resonance. So if you hear and then you hear just off center, it's kind of more open. And if you ever hit like on where the chord goes in between the line, that's what's called a node, and that's where there's the least sound and resonance on a bar. So you always want to hit about just off center, below or above, whichever. So next we're going to learn what's called the full stroke. So the full stroke, you do this start high, end high concept. So you just check 7 points, and both of them are starting at the top. You hit the just off center on the bar, and it comes right back up. It's kind of like two friends talking up here. Wait, I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back. So you want to try it out? So remember all the 7 checkpoints. You always want them to come back at the same, about the same height. You never want to one go higher than the other. So think two friends talking, goes down to get something, comes right back up. So the height where your sticks are coming back are kind of a little off. Let me count you off, and then we can just do it at 4 chord notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. at the start one more time. Let's just aim for more even height, where the mallets come back up. 1, 2, ready, go. Good. All right, thank you for letting me teach you 7 checkpoints and how to do a full stroke.